balls and garlic knots, and the best specialty pizzas ever, like the Pig, the Sergeant Pepperoni, the Surf and Turf, and lots more. Come to the all-new Acme Pizza and Daiquiris location on the Res in Ridgeland, next door to Cock of the Walk.
Want insider tips on foundation repair, maintenance, and how to protect your biggest investment? Todd Sandridge, owner of Superior Foundation Services, will be dropping in this month for quick interviews with your favorite local hosts. Whether you're dealing with cracks, settling, or just want peace of mind, this is a conversation you don't want to miss. Superior Foundation Services, helping you stay on solid ground. Find them online at superior.ms. That's superior.ms.
You had an accident. Now you're here in Aftermarket Parts, Insurance Company Preferred, and a lot of other noise that serves to confuse you. Call Clinton Body Shop. We'll keep it simple. We are certified by 19 vehicle makers to assure you get a proper repair. We care about your investment and your safety. Call the shop who only wants one partner in the repair process, and that's you, the owner. In Clinton and in Richland, we work for you. We take pride in perfection.
Hello, friends and neighbors. This is David Frederick. I'm here to tell you about the latest development here at Frederick Sales and Service in Brandon. In an effort to always bring you the very best brands, I am proud to announce that Frederick Sales and Service is Central Mississippi's newest dealer for Skag zero-turn mowers and products. We have deals on one of the industry's best brands of zero-turn mowers, Skag. You can buy now and pay later because 0% financing is also available at Frederick's. Come see our inventory. We're here serving you for over 3 decades in Brandon since 1993.
Looking for farm fresh produce, high quality local beef, dairy, and desserts? Look no further than the Farm Store in Flora. We've got the sweetest, juiciest fruits and vibrant vegetables from Two Dog Farms, plus premium beef, all from right here in the community. Whether you're cooking up a feast or just grabbing a healthy snack, the Farm Store has got you covered. Freshness you can taste, prices you'll love. Find us on Facebook at The Farm Store by Two Dog Farm.
It's road trip season again. Is your vehicle ready? Take your vehicle to Green's Tire and Auto on Ridgewood Road in Ridgeland to get it in tip-top shape before you head out of town. Don't get stranded while you're away from home. Preventative maintenance is their specialty at Green's Tire and Auto. And if your check engine light is already on, then Green's Tire and Auto can tell what's wrong and get it fixed. Before you start your road trip, take your car to Green's Tire and Auto, Ridgewood Road in Ridgeland.
Welcome back to the Chip Matthews Show, and here is your host, Chip Matthews.
Yes, it is the Chip Matthews Show. I am Chip Matthews. He is Ron Eller, and yes, we are here.
Well, it's been a tough morning, brother. Yes. with the transmitter being down.
Well, it was, it was mostly energy.
Yeah.
And
do you think it has something to do with those data centers socking up our energy?
That's what I'm saying. I mean, it's sort of like, remember yesterday when I'm making the comment that every other street light,
I do
it
remember
seems
that.
to be out, and all of a sudden the conservative voice.
Well, you know what? It's just another classic example of the man trying to keep us down and silence us.
Oh,
Chip.
yeah.
But we will not be silenced. We will go forth in the night. We will fight on for America and American way.
Yes, and we will also be on the air till 9 this morning, it looks like.
Well, I can only stay till about 7:30 because I've got the obligations.
Believe me, I think I can come up with the words. Just keep on talking.
I do believe that.
Okay. And of course, Clay is not going to be in this morning, so I'll be filling in for him. So everything I was going to talk about this morning, we're going to get to. And if Clay calls in, we'll talk to him too and get his words on what's going on. They've been keeping up with the, I was going to say George Floyd thing, but it's just as bad. It's the cultural rot of the political scene there in Jackson, Mississippi and I was talking to a customer last night at the restaurant who listens to the show and said that they enjoyed listening to us this week. And they made the comment that, they said all this stuff going on down there at the with everybody at the thing. He says it's going to eventually spill over. I go, what do you mean? He goes, well, all these people are down there at the thing basically pushing the civil rights issues. Yes. I said, yes. And this is something that I started telling you in January that it's equal rights, not civil rights. And they're going, hold on, but civil rights weighted everything in our favor. That's what they've learned. They figured it out after all these years that they were getting more than their fair share. And I mean, when you try to level the playing field with a group of people that are only, let's say in some cities you're 50 to 60 to 70%, but in some cities you're not.
Yes.
And in America, you're only 20 or 37%. What is it? 37%? Something like that. They always say it isn't that big of a number.
Well, it goes back to sociology. I believe it was Zion's paradox, where it says you have to hold one group back to allow another group to be catapulted to.
It's sort of like equal. If we were going to run the 100-yard dash, and every time we turned around as the white man, we gave them a 50-yard lead on 100 yards.
That's Zion's paradox.
Yes, and I mean that's just wrong. It's just wrong. I mean
equal protection, equal for everything and everybody.
And I mean, just because you cannot take the time to quit fighting long enough to learn. I mean, that is the simple thing. It's easier to yell than to stop and listen. I mean,
well, it's kind of like the song, "The Rich Man from Richmond."
Yeah.
And the political elite want to keep you divided. If you're divided, you're easier to control.
Yeah, divide and conquer. It's
very
Napoleon started it years ago,
and then it works.
And people before that. And I mean, if you look at what goes on in the Senate and the House, that's what goes on. Divide and conquer. That's how come you got Republicans and Democrats, and then inside the Republican Party you got a split.
Yeah.
But what they're not noticing is Mr. Trump told everybody when he went into office, I'm going to drain the swamp. And he didn't care if you were Republican or Democrat. We're going to take a break. We'll be back on the other side, 707. Chip Matthews in the studio with Ron Eller. It is the Clay Edwards Show, and then we're going to tiptoe through the tulips with Chippy.
Tiny Chippy.
Tiny Chippy. Chippy fiddling in for the Clay Edwards Show this morning. We'll check in with Clay later on. He was going to take a little nap, he said. I said, okay.
Yeah. He needs a little more juice.
Yeah, a little more juice, a little more juice. But anyway, good morning to y'all. We're here on the program. I am, of course, Chip Matthews. He is, of course, Ron Eller, the future congressman
for Mississippi Second.
So that make you, you're an old guy, but you'll be called a junior congressman, right?
Yeah, well, I am a junior.
Yeah, I'm a junior too.
Yeah.
Chippy
and
Jr.
Well, maybe I can bring my grandson in. He's a 4.0, so he's a younger, faster version.
Well, here we are on the program this morning, and of course, let's talk about some of the things that have been going on in the world, in the news, and what's going on. We'll start with what would you call it? The world of Jackson. We'll go to the world of Jackson. Hold on, I forgot to do
the Republic of Jackson.
The Republic of Jackson. Let's see, where's that? Where's that? That's not what I need. I need that. I don't need that. I'm looking for something. Tell us about what you think of the event yesterday that the Democrats held. And my next question is to you is, did they get a permit from the city of Jackson to march in the streets? Because you just can't have a parade.
That's true.
And they did.
And I doubt they had a permit, but there's what you say, certain folks get privileges.
Yeah.
And if you got the D next to your name, you're carte blanche. I think this was a bad move. It had a bad feeling and a bad vibe about it. It's just another effort to divide we the people based on race. Look, read your Bible. From one man, all nations were built. Acts 17:26. And if you go back to Genesis 8, I'm going to say it was like 11 through 14, where the ark came to rest on Mount Ariat. Go forth, be fruitful and multiply. So we all come from Ham, Shem, Japheth, and Noah. So, get over it. Trust me, I work in cardiac surgery, and I've seen a lot of people from the inside, and we all look alike, regardless of what the color is on the outside. It's just melanin.
And this constant thing on race. I mean, do they understand that the race? I mean, as you watch kids today, when I was growing up, you didn't see a lot of interracial couples. They just didn't, And when you did, people talked and this and that. Things have changed a whole lot in the world,
particularly here in Mississippi.
Oh yeah, very, very much so. And
Mississippi is a very diverse community, and as a general rule, people get along. It's outside agitators that try to keep us divided, the race baiters.
So
the Benny Thompsons,
the Benny Thompsons, the NAACP, the who else was in the Black Lives Matters people? All of these people,
Southern Poverty Law
Center.
They back the AKK. So you tell me they're not trying to divide people.
We can get along with a few whites. Let's get the guys with the sheets.
Yeah,
let's get the guys with the sheets and get them to come hang out with us.
God bless America.
No kidding. I wonder what I'm doing wrong over here.
I don't know.
I don't know either. But anyway, I don't see
that computer stuff. I can mess that up for
you. I just need you to keep talking if you want to keep
talking.
Well,
very good. Welcome to WYAB 103.9 on your FM dial.
Yeah.
Well, our call lines are open at 601-879-0002. That's 879-0002. Call in now.
Okay.
Mr. Call Screener, we got anybody up yet?
No.
Well, there's a lot of things we can talk about.
Well, let's talk about so in the Trump world.
Yes, sir.
What's going on?
Well, President Trump is still dealing with the Straits of Hormuz.
Right.
And we're trying to get a deal worked.
Do you believe that we're going to sit back and wait on the
I'm going to say the clock is ticking. Them boys best get up off their butts and do something soon.
Mm-hmm.
Because failure to do so is going to result in their demise.
So, are we going to bomb them?
Well, if they don't,
he's ready to go.
If they don't come to the table, let's face it, we have our troops in line. We have the ammo, we have the will, and we have the ability. And it'll be a Katie bar the door.
So hold on, I got to send a text real quick.
Matt, answer your phone.
No.
Well, anyhow, what's going on at the restaurant today? What do we have for our lunch special at Beethoven's?
Oh, today at the restaurant, it's going to be chicken and dressing, smoked chicken and dressing, and meatloaf.
Mm-hmm.
But hold on. What else is going on in the world? What we got coming up? What is your next big event?
Well, my next big event, I'm actually working on putting together a fundraiser of sorts at Beethoven's on the Boardwalk. And our group that's going to be meeting there will be a lot of people of the African-American community, business leaders, doctors, lawyers, to talk about how we can improve our situation within the Jackson and 2nd Congressional District.
And, and the big thing yesterday was all about who was going to raise money. That's all that was about. I mean, you can say whatever you want, but that's what it was. It's just, we got to raise money.
Yes.
I mean, and so the base of the people, they flew people in. When you watch the news, they said, look, we brought in people from Alabama. We brought in people from Georgia, Arkansas, Louisiana. We told the base we got to go up there because they thought that was going to be the day of the, they got a chance to plan when Tate said that he was going to do a special session and what day it was going to be on. So they planned, then Tate had pulled the curveball and oops, no special session.
No special session.
And so they were like, okay. And then I saw Kamikaze from Jackson up there trying to rally the troops and blah, blah, blah. And of course, he's had a tough time. He never really made it.
Mm-hmm.
And he goes by Brad Franklin, but for Kamikaze, y'all know who he is. And when his buddy David Banner made it, he didn't, that was just that. But you had them all up there going to town and trying to figure out what was going on in the world. And they're just trying to rally the troops, start the hate, got to get you mad. You've got to be civil rights mad. And then they had all the, and I mean, I was real surprised at who was the lady that city council, was she run for city council? Evers?
Mm-hmm.
She run for city council, or is she on the, she's city council?
She is a county supervisor.
I was real surprised to see her because I remember meeting her last year and in her race, and we were counting votes and going through all of that. And I know other people that were up there with her when that was going down. And I was real surprised to see her jumping on the hate race bandwagon, which is what exactly I felt like she did. I mean, I may be wrong, but when you get up there and just say, look, my dad, basically, just because my last name is Evers. Bob, and she's never been like that before.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess when the NAACP shows up with money and they show up with the people to start spending the money, they'll say that they're just regular politicians. They're like every other politician, even the rhino politicians of this state that take the money from the big box stores.
They put that hand out.
The hand comes out. I can say whatever you want me to. Now, Ron, when you get to Congress, are you going to be that way?
I hope I will have a better standard.
I promise you, in the event that you do that, I will be knee deep on you.
I know that.
I mean,
well, I show up.
Yeah. And, and somebody else said, Ron, he's been trying. I hope he gets in. I said, y'all, when I sat down with Ron 2 years ago when he was running, I said, Ron, you've got to, when you run, whether you win or lose, you've got to keep campaigning.
Yes.
And I said, because the job of being a congressman
is 2 years.
It's only 2 years, and you're constantly campaigning. So when y'all all talk about the legacy of Benny Thompson and all the years that he's put in and how it is to unseat him, look, he's had to campaign there every 2 years, but he really hadn't had to because nobody ever challenged him. The Republican Party let him do what he wanted to do.
Well, I believe that, a lot of folks really do not want to redraw the lines. Think about this. They're guaranteed 75% of the Washington representation is going to be Republican.
Well, I mean, but I mean, we know that we're going to have three.
And if you figure, based on our senators as well, it's down to 20% will be Democrat and
right.
But
when you go to Washington, And you, like, for instance, in the case of some of our current congressmen, they're on the same committees with Benny. They never bitch about Benny.
No,
I
don't see
when Republicans and Democrats are getting along and not asking questions. I mean, you could quietly ask questions similar to the way Mr. Kennedy, John Kennedy, speaks, which, of course, Mr. Kennedy, y'all, is a Mississippian, born in Monticello.
Yeah.
And in case y'all didn't know, but he just quietly goes into the situation and he calls a Democrat a Democrat. He calls a crook, even if he's a Republican. And that's what you got to do. And in this case, the
truth shall set us free.
Yes, it will. It will completely set us free. And I sit there and I just look at it and just go, what are we going to do? Are we just going to continue to listen to everybody saying, well, we have, you got your top state legislators and your top state officials. Everybody was all happy that we were Republican from governor down to dog catcher. And now everybody's running for top dog catcher, and you look at it. And then I heard a chink in the armor the other day where Shad White made a comment that he might not be running for governor. He might be running for lieutenant governor.
That would make a lot of sense to me. That would be one heck of a.
It would be a good move for everybody, but I also worry at times is this because when Delbert and them made sure that Chris McDaniels would be shut up and he wasn't going to repeat as in the House or the Senate because all the elections go at the same time. You gotta figure out what to do. And so you're out. The conservative voice was out in the case of Chris McDaniels.
Yeah.
But
then they redistrict Sullinger out.
Right. And but the thing is, if you're going to run for office and you're going to be in the frame of things, let's just say, you got to understand that there's not enough conservatives on the menu to look at, and they're making sure that they're not there. And I hate to say that the Republican Party has a hand in all of that, but the Mississippi GOP doesn't seem to always stand out and help the conservative people that need to be a hand up. I mean, Dan Eubanks is the only conservative we really have. We have about 5 conservatives in the state.
I would say Dan Eubanks, Rodney Hall, Kathy Chisholm.
And Rodney Hall is a great conservative.
Yeah.
But it ain't any other. It ain't because he's black.
No. Well, that's going back to what we were talking about.
To race.
The race baiters.
And
they wish to keep us divided. And it's time we get over that. And let's work together, regardless of how you self-identify: white, black, Republican, Democrat, gay, straight. Everybody wants the same things.
Right. And I mean, and I remember meeting him and in here in Jackson right after he went into office, and I felt like the party was trying to cash in on color rather than ability,
the content and character of his heart.
I mean,
that's what we have to judge people by.
Everything should be on your ability to do the job,
exactly.
not the color of your skin,
and not what letters next to your name, D or R.
And remember that the state has worked for years. And this is not just the state, this is nationally. They have worked hard to where Republicans are white, Democrats are black by the way that they have made everything. And, it's like I was telling everybody last week, and I really felt like where we used to say there was a Democratic shift to the Republican Party from the old guard. No, there wasn't.
No.
All we did was said, watch this. We'll make ourselves white. And we'll just be Republicans and be white. And that's all it is white and black. We don't have because there are Democrats who are real Democrats who are against abortion.
Yep.
There are Democrats who go to church.
No.
Oh, yes. And, but then the churches, inside the churches, the NAACP comes in with that money and tells the people in the Democrats or the black churches that they got to support this. You got to support these issues. And the issues really aren't in Mississippi, the national issues. There are issues, but they're not the ones that move the needle. Here in this state, we're not out fighting in the streets, but yesterday they were trying to get us to fight. They said, we're going to fight. We're going to tear it all down to build it back up. No, we don't want to do that. Nobody here wants to do that. Nobody wants to see a war in the United States, especially in Mississippi. When we see those people in Minnesota acting up, and in Chicago, and in out there on the West Coast where they're really crazy, we just look at them and go, why are they tearing up their own stuff?
Yeah.
It's insane to think that you're going to tear up.
We need to do the Rodney King. Why can't we just all get along?
Oh, exactly. And I mean, it's completely insane to think that that's the way we're going to do things. So I don't know. Good morning, Christy Kendall Cox. The Culture Shock what is this? The Culture Shock Entertainment Reports podcast. Yummy. All three are favorites of mine. Andy Devine. What else am I looking at? These are people saying good morning to me online. JC Dunn, Andy Devine, Jeff Thomas, everybody. Yes, we're running a little late this morning. We're on the
Clay Edwards show.
Mocha Mugs Girl in the House. There you go. Let's just get it all going on. If you got something on your mind, give us a call, because we are just talking
at 601-879-0002.
We'll talk about whatever y'all want to talk about. But the reality is, the Black Caucus of Mississippi should be shut down. The one nationally should be shut down.
Well, in my day life, I'm a PA. That's a physician assistant.
Mm-hmm.
And we have an organization called the AAPA, the American Academy of Physician Assistants. And I remember when they came out with all these different caucuses, they got one for different religions, like Jewish versus Catholic. They have them for different races, nationalities. You've got an Indian and New Zealand, and you have.
When you say Indian, you mean dot.
Correct.
Okay.
But they have a Native American caucus too.
Yes.
And they have a Black caucus, and then they have one for the LGBTQ plus.
But
I look at all those things and I say, it's wrong. And they actually had me sit down in a national meeting because I stood up and told them that was all wrong. I said, you can have a caucus for a state because state laws vary.
Right.
You can have a caucus for, say,
for a party,
for orthopedic PAs or emergency medicine PAs, because what they do is different. But having them based on all this touchy-feely stuff, that's wrong, because that's not about taking care of patients. And that's the whole mission.
It's no different than having a caucus based on race than it is having a caucus based on religion.
Mm-hmm.
That's why separation of church and state exists.
Well, that's kind of one of those fallacies.
Yeah. I mean, everybody goes, oh, you can't have God in religion. No, you can't as a group
say this is the state religion.
We're going to do this as we're going to all be Republicans. It's sort of like that goes back to the Church of England, right? Mm-hmm. They didn't want to. You had pilgrims here and other people that didn't believe in some of those things and didn't believe in the king and this, that, and the other.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't believe in a king, but they all showed up when the king was running around, right?
Yeah.
So let's see. I'm being told what to do real quick. So I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do this, and what is this?
What are we doing?
You just keep talking. Talk about the kings.
Well,
and I don't mean the Rodney Kings, and I don't mean the Martin Luther Kings, and I'm not talking about the king. You need to talk about the King of England or this, that, and the other.
Well, let's talk about kings. The No More Kings rallies. What a farce! Let President Trump be President Trump. You support your president, right or wrong. Most of us, I can't say most of us, because very few of us have actually been in the military.
Yeah,
it's kind of like voting. Very few people really vote. And it's time that we change these things. Maybe we ought to have a mandate that everybody has to do a couple years of government service.
I think that's the only thing.
Whether it's, like in the Peace Corps or in the military. But,
okay, we're going to take a quick break. Make sure everything's up and running and back on the program. Chip Matthews, Ron Eller filling in for Clay this morning right here on WYAB. Make sure everything's up and running and back on the program. Chip Matthews, Ron Eller filling in for Clay this morning right here on WYAB.
103.9 WYAB.
Grill lovers already know about Grills of Mississippi, and so should you. Grills of Mississippi carries premium Weber grills, Yoder smokers, and outdoor kitchen accessories to take your backyard cooking to the next level. Whether you're a weekend griller or a serious pitmaster, Grills of Mississippi has the brands, the knowledge, and the service to help you do it right. Turn your backyard into the ultimate gathering spot. Visit grillsofms.com today. Grills of Mississippi, where great cooking starts.
Looking for adventure, amazing food, and a little relaxation all in one place? You'll find it at Cypress Point Resort in Brandon. Load up the family and experience a real drive-through safari, petting zoo, and thrilling guided Jeep tours. Then slow it down with mouth-watering steaks at the steakhouse or grab drinks and live music at the tavern. Planning a wedding or reunion? Cypress Point Resort has beautiful venues and cozy lodging. Ready for your big day or just a weekend escape? It's everything you love about the outdoors with a touch of luxury. Cypress Point Resort. Wild fun right around the corner.
We all plan to be on time, but fender benders, damaged windshields, and slick roads quickly disrupt those plans. At Shelter Insurance, our agents help design personal protection plans that work for you and help keep you on track. Shelter Insurance. We're your shield. We're your shelter.
See Shelter Agent Jamie Creel in Flora and Ridgeland, 601-992-6000.
Now is the time to turn over a new leaf and shower yourself with savings at Mazda of Jackson. Mazda of Jackson has rates as low as 0.9% on select models, or spring into savings with up to $3,000 in customer cash with approved credit. Get to Mazda Jackson today, where certified pre-owned vehicles and hassle-free trade-in options are also available. Shop online at MazdaofJackson.com or visit Mazda of Jackson, I-55 Frontage Road.
Looking for the perfect spot to unwind with friends and family? El Patrio Mexican Restaurant is calling your name. With locations in Flowood and Cross Gates, Brandon, El Patrio is the cozy, family-owned gym where great food meets great times. Enjoy El Patrio's signature margaritas and happy hour specials that keep their customers coming back for more. Indulge in their authentic Mexican dishes prepared with love and served in a warm, family-friendly atmosphere. Come to El Patrio and taste the traditions. El Patrio, where family, flavor, and fun come together.
Hey, business owners, want your phones to ring away. Get your name on the airwaves with the Clay Edwards Show today. Tell the town who you are while they're driving in their cars. If you want your business to grow, advertise on the Clay Edwards Show. Contact info at WIAB.com. Contact info at WIAB.com.
Hey guys, this is Casey Ellis with Ellis Autoplex, located on Highway 471 in Brandon. Ellis Autoplex, known as Little Truck City, is your old school mom and pop style dealership that's family owned and operated. We specialize in 4-wheel drive trucks, but don't worry, we have cars and SUVs too. Looking to sell your vehicle? Bring it by Ellis Autoplex, where we pay fair market value and we cut you a check on the spot. Need your vehicle service or repair? We can handle that too. Shop us online or set your appointment at ellisautoplex.com. That's ellisautoplex.com.
Welcome back to the Clay Edwards Show. Breaking rules. Here we go. When necessary.
Breaking rules when necessary. And I am Chip Matthews, filling in for Clay Edwards on the Clay Edwards Show. Of course, I do the morning 6 a.m. show most mornings and blah, 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 you know. And I'm glad to have y'all here and be talking to y'all this morning. So if you got anything on your mind and want to talk, let's talk. Imagine being so upset with someone you talk about them for a week. Calm down if you want an autograph. Just tell me. No need to rant and tell lies about me. Huh. Natalie Stevens. I wonder what the heck that is. You want my autograph? That's a good question. Good morning, Joanna. Talking about the three Free the Land Kangs in Jackson. Oh, playing what's the guy? I've lost my mind. Clay and they've been talking about that, about the trial coming up. I wish I had more information on it, but Sean Yerkeron is tuned into that and on top of that, and he'll be back with Clay probably tomorrow morning right here on most of this same radio station to talk about that. If y'all got something on your mind, give us a call. We'll talk about it, whatever it is. And the big thing for me this weekend, of course, is out at the Beethoven's Boardwalk, my restaurant out at the Reservoir on the right there next to Cock of the Walk. Yeah, we got Acme Pizza in there and this, that, and the other. But you can come on out this weekend. Tonight we got Mike Mott. Mike Mott's out there tonight, but it's a big Memorial Day weekend. Tony's Crawfish invade the area, so we'll have crawfish galore cooked by a real Cajun. Hot crawfish. Now, the Cajun crawfish is a little bit different than this weak stuff y'all been getting everywhere else. This is the real deal. Lots of flavor. And this weekend also the bands are Angela Pittman and Unfinished Business on Friday night. Saturday, Love and Ledbetter. Sunday. Even more music since we have an extra day this weekend because it's a party weekend. Sweet Tooth Jones. And then, of course, on Monday, we'll have music and all that. Mike Mott will be there every night. I can't get rid of him. He'll be there every day this weekend. And we got much more planned. And so we'll be back and talk about all of that and everything else going on this week right here on the Clay Edwards Show, right here on WYAB. So we'll be back and talk about all of that and everything else going on this week right here.
1039 WYAB.
This is Central Mississippi's Stimulating Talk.
1039 WYAB. Pocahontas, Jackson.
Acme Pizza and Daiquiris is leveling up. A whole new Acme Pizza and Daiquiris is now open at the Reservoir at Beethoven's Boardwalk in Ridgeland, right next door to Cock of the Walk. And the new Acme Pizza and Daiquiris will have all of your old favorites too, like the Acme Dynamite Balls and Garlic Knots, and the best specialty pizzas ever, like the Pig, the Sergeant Pepperoni, the Surf and Turf, and lots more. Come to the all-new Acme Pizza and Daiquiris location on the Res in Ridgeland, next door to Cock of the Walk.
You love your land, and you have plans for it. During Kubota Orange Days, you'll love the great deals on our versatile, reliable lineup, helping you turn dream projects into reality. Visit your Kubota dealer today for the best deals of the year. Now through June 30th, 0% financing available or save up to $5,500 off select compact tractors. Sale ends soon. Stop by your local dealer or go to gokubota.com.
Visit Davini Equipment in Madison and Jackson or at daviniEquipment.com.
The only thing hotter than Mississippi in the summer is a Mississippi summer when the power goes out. This summer, be ready. Call Cowden Electric. They can install a permanent standby generator that automatically kicks on the second the power fails and keeps your whole house running. Hey, you already got a portable generator? Call Cowden Electric and let them set it up so you can safely plug it into your breaker box and power just the essentials. Don't wait for the next outage. Call Cowden Electric today or visit CowdenElectric.com and stay powered up when the grid goes down. CowdenElectric.com.
When it's time to get serious about work-ready equipment, come see me, Noah Sullivan, at H&H Chief Sales in Carthage. From rugged Big Tex trailers to durable CM and Legend X truck beds, H&H has what your truck needs to work harder and last longer. For the field, H&H carries reliable ag equipment from Salford, New Leader, and Chandler. Visit H&H Chief Sales in Carthage today or anytime at hhchiefsales.com. H&H, quality equipment, knowledgeable service, and solutions that work as hard as you do.
Metal Builder Supply in Pearl provides quality commercial and residential metal roofing, pre-engineered steel buildings, many storage facilities, pole barns, and steel components with old-time service and competitive prices. Through our commitment, experience, and expertise, Metal Builder Supply has established a business relationship with our customers that will last a lifetime. When you need metal roofing, reflective insulation, trim, or metal decking, contact Metal Builder Supply. Online at metalbuildersupplypearl.com.
For decades, you've known the name Martin's for good times, great food, and the best live music. Now that's happening at 2 locations, downtown Jackson and Livingston. Check the websites, martinslivingstonms.com and martinsdowntownjxn.com for the many special events and live music lineups. You can chill with friends on the big patio at the Livingston location and enjoy the Blue Plate lunches and nightly drink specials. Martin's, downtown and Livingston.
Hey, Rankin County, swing by the locally owned and award-winning 042 Wine and Spirits on Highway 80 next to Sonny's Barbecue in Brandon today. We've got one of the largest selections around with over 200 bourbons and whiskeys to ignite your taste buds, more than 50 vodkas, 50-plus tequilas, 30-plus rums, and ready-to-drink cocktails, as well as premium scotches. And get this, we've got over 400 wines in stock for the perfect pairing anytime. Discover your new favorites today at 042 Wine and Spirits right next to Sonny's Barbecue, Highway 80, Cross Gates, Brandon.
Hi, Kim Wade here. Are you craving a home-cooked meal without the hassle? Come over to McBee's Bar and Grill in Ridgeland for their Blue Plate lunch specials. Served up every weekday, at McBee's is a different entree every day. Chicken spaghetti on Mondays, beef tip Tuesday, pork chop Wednesday, spaghetti Thursday, and catfish Fridays. And McBee's Blue Plate lunch comes with 2 classic Southern sides and cornbread or a roll. McBee's specials are served every weekday from 11 to 2. McBee's, buzzing the res since 1982.
Welcome back to the Clay Edwards Show. Breaking rules. Here we go. When necessary.
Breaking one of the big rules. Chip Matthews filling in for Clay Edwards this morning right here on WYAB. We're being also, you can catch us on Facebook on the Chip Matthews Show Facebook, also on Rumble, YouTube, and all the normal places that you go and watch these things. Of course, there'll be reels up later on. And I was looking online here on the Book of Faces, and a good friend of mine, Andy Stewart, has a thought up there, and it's something that I've talked about many times. He's saying the $1.8 billion anti-weaponization fund established by the AG and the Department and the DOJ, criminal welfare for the convicted. I can't imagine getting money from our government for being convicted of assaulting a Leo. Really bad precedent thoughts. And my thing on this is, y'all, anytime a department like the Attorney General's office, she has all that extra money down there that she got from drug confiscations. They said, why doesn't the money go to the general fund and then the treasurer hand out the money? Why did they get to take that and get political fodder out of it? And all they're doing is that's nothing more than buying votes of the criminals. That you got many people that want to take the criminals, the felons, and give them back their right to vote. And you start looking at that and you go, what are you doing? Why do you get the right to spend money? I mean, once the money is confiscated and brought in, okay, I understand like a police department getting some of it to help run their department to where they can run these special forces, this, that, and the other. And we know what that number is. But for the Attorney General's office, when she goes and allegedly recovers all this money from, let's say, somebody, they're getting people all the time for spam calling. I don't know if you spend more time doing that, you could really pan a lot of gold out of that. But when they find these people and they get these $1 million and $1 billion settlements that come into the state, why do those departments get to hand that money back out? Those departments should run on the money that they're budgeted for. They should be as big as they are, because the whole idea of being a Republican is small government, right? Now, we want them to do their job, but when you go to spend the money, I think all the money should go through the legislature and then the treasurer write the check. Now, of course, our legislatures, all they do is give the money to nonprofits, so that means we need to get rid of all these legislators. I mean, because that's what they do. That's what they do. They don't believe in conservative politics. We don't have any Republicans in office. Well, we got about 5 or 6. I'm not going to say that. And that are real conservatives. The rest of them, all they care about doing is taking the money, giving it to a nonprofit, and then trickling it back to you. Some of the groups that inside the state that build projects, like Makita and Rankin One, are the ones that are local, but they're all over the state. And they're public-private entities that are put together to develop areas in the state. But once that money goes into those private entities, which are nonprofits, they can then do what they want to do and spend the money, hire the people they want to hire, get what they need to get off the top of it, this, that, and don't believe that there's any corruption in that. Our whole government is so corrupt. I mean, when you see that they're fixing to take out two bridges on Old Canton Road coming out of Canton going toward Deerfield. They're fixing to take 2 bridges out, and it's going to be down for 70 days. And then you see in Jackson where the supervisor is standing over this place going, we've had to have a bridge here for years, so I'm going to come and build the bridge. Well, that was your damn job the whole time you've been in office, and everybody before you. The bridge was gone. You got to build the bridge. I mean, you ain't got to show up and say, I'm the one building the bridge. You're not the one building the bridge. My tax dollars are paying the bridge building, and the people we're putting in place to do the work, to build these bridges, to build these roads, to build all this stuff, it comes from us. They work for us. We're the boss. And the problem with us being the boss is we're not allowed to be the boss. To be the boss, you got to write the checks. And we're the ones writing the checks to them. It's not it shouldn't be a penalty to live in the United States of America, and especially Mississippi, and have to and spend as much money as we spend on the things that we do, and have people squander the money the way they do. I mean, setting up a fund to help a convict. Y'all, convicts need to go to jail and stay in jail. That's what needs to happen to them until they are reformed. That's that. And we're paying for the reform no matter what. And if we let them out early, all we do is have to put them back. The justice system is bogged down with too many cases. They say, we got too many cases, blah, blah, blah. Well, if we had some judges that would put some people in jail, then you wouldn't have these repeat offenders constantly coming through your office. I mean, come on, people. How hard is it to get it right? I mean, recently when we elected a judge here in Madison County, we elected a judge to be a judge who, one, didn't live in the district she was running in, number one. Number two, she has no law background. And she was, her big thing was she was in a part of an HOA that had kicked her out. But because the three amigos, you know who I'm talking about, Gerald and what's his name, Banks and Griffin, had put her had appointed her in the position to run. She was, that's who they had. So you take the 17% of the people that vote plus a little push from the supervisors, and there you go. We wind up with a judge who is also has no law background. So we got I believe we got one judge up there that's got a law degree, that's a Madison County Justice Court, and I think two that don't. Imagine that. Imagine going to get justice from somebody that has no idea of what the law is in reality. They're going to do it on feeling, how they feel about something. That don't seem right. I mean, there's nothing wrong with right and wrong. There's nothing wrong with looking at all that. But when you put people in place, why would any judge not have a background in law? Well, in the Justice Department, the Justice Court, you don't have to have a law degree. And that is the rule. You also don't have to live in the district that you run in. How about that? You don't have to live in the district that you run in. That's the same also to even run against in Congress. You can run for anybody. Every time they say they could have gotten Benny Thompson, do you know that anybody in the state could have run against Benny Thompson at any time? You didn't have to live in a congressional district to run against another congressman. So if I wanted to run against the guy on the coast, I could do that. I mean, it's kind of foolish because nobody on the coast knows me, but they probably do know me. My show's getting big and people down there call in. But the reality is that's the way it works. We have a system that is set up to be manipulated, and we don't fix anything. We need new laws. Well, we need to enforce the laws we do have and quit manipulating the old laws is what needs to happen. I mean, we're here in Mississippi and you can't, when you look talking to a politician in a suit, you can't tell if he's a Republican or a Democrat. You can't tell whose payroll he's on. He's going to shake your hand. He's going to smile. He's going to say, yes, we're working on that. We're going to do everything we can to help you. What else is your problem? Oh, that's really nice. Let me kiss you, baby. Okay. Let me hug your neck. Thank you very much. If you want to give to my campaign, here's my number. Meanwhile, when they go to budget money, they're doing everything they can to budget different nonprofits who do what? Give the money back to them. Many, many, many of the nonprofits in this state donate money to different people's campaigns. And that's just the facts, And then you'll go to like, for instance, in Canton, you'll go to an alderman meeting, and there'll be some people there from 100 Black Men saying, look, we're going to do a fundraiser, blah, 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 and we'd like the city of Canton to give us some money. Well, they're asking for a donation. And when the city of Canton votes to give a donation out of our money that we don't have to begin with, that's wrong. Okay, that can't happen. You go, well, why can't we call the state auditor and do something about it? Well, we can't call the state auditor. The auditor doesn't have any powers. The auditor does not have powers to go into a city and tell them they're doing something wrong. until it includes monies that he should be watching. Federal money, he can get it. But money that is given to the city to run by the city, that's why you never hear that Jackson got audited or this, that, and that. Canton went a couple of years without an audit. I don't even know if that's still through auditing I think it was 6 years. Canton has just gone through an audit. Ooh, I hadn't heard from Truly in a while. I wonder where he is. But I mean, that's the way this goes. You know, the government is set up to where the auditor has no fight, no way to combat anything. Like, for instance, when he was going after Ted DiBiase and he was going after Brett Favre and all of that, Shad White he had to go and get a criminal like Jody Owens to be the DA he goes to, because the Attorney General wouldn't touch it. And why won't the Attorney General touch cases that involve monies from Mississippi? Her job in election crimes, which she says she won't prosecute, because I carried her 100 cases of election fraud, election things that were wrong. And even the Secretary of State backed me on that and moved it on up. But normally he doesn't back that. You know, the Secretary of State has no power in elections other than the fact that he runs them and he trains everybody to run them, but nobody knows how. There is no checks and balances to make sure that those people running an election know what the hell they're doing. There is no checks and balances there. And there's no penalty for doing it wrong. And if a town is corrupt in their election, it doesn't matter to him at all. He has to certify that election according to the law. He had those people that are on the committee, they could say they don't want to certify the election. And you know what happens? He says, he sued, like in Canton, he sued them to certify an election that everybody said was fraudulent. Everybody on the board had said, we're not certifying this election. And they said, that's fine. And then they just came up with another group that became the certification board, blah, 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 forgot the ones that were elected and moved forward. This is what's wrong with Mississippi. The legislators of this state need to correct these problems. They need to give power to the AG's office when it comes to doing Mississippi things, and they need to do it. But also, when they have their power, they shouldn't, when they get some money, they shouldn't take that money and be the ones allowed to spend it. All the money should go into the general fund and then they redistribute it, period. And then those people distributing the money need to give it to where they need to. They need to be told you can't give it to a charity or a nonprofit. That needs to be just cut completely out, especially if you can't audit them. Nothing should go. I mean, look at all the money you waste out of your pocket. You know, right now you're getting you're paying for $100 worth of gas in your car. I mean, $100 worth of gas in your car. And, you know, and it wasn't too long ago, it was just $40. You're paying $100 for gas in your car. And everybody's going to get on the bandwagon and say, that's all Trump's fault. That's all Trump's fault. No, that's not. The Mississippi legislature also raised the gas tax when they made us tax-free, and we don't have any more income tax, and we don't have any more sales tax. But we're still all paying all those taxes. We didn't become tax-free. None of that happened. That was a lie. And the Republican Party is a lie in the state of Mississippi. They're not doing what they're supposed to do. They're supposed to be cutting government and getting rid of waste and corruption, and they don't do it. And that's why you're looking at a situation where Trump is getting into these other places in America and getting everybody. And I don't know why everybody in Mississippi thinks they're immune in the hierarchy. They think they're immune from Trump coming in and cleaning out. He's draining the swamp and then going home. And he is not going to just skip over Mississippi. It's not going to be Mississippi. Oh, we're not going to worry about that. Benny Thompson, Mississippi let Benny Thompson go after him and didn't say anything about the J6. Mississippi did not do anything. Nobody came out and said the J6 was wrong. Nobody came out and admonished Benny Thompson for everything he did. Michael Guest sat on that committee with him. We'll be back with more right here on the Clay Edwards Show. I am Chip Matthews, filling in on a rainy Thursday or overcast Thursday. We'll be right back. Filling in on a rainy Thursday or overcast.
103.9 WYAB.
Looking for the perfect spot to unwind with friends and family? El Patrio Mexican Restaurant is calling your name. With locations in Flowood and Cross Gates, Brandon, El Patrio is the cozy, family-owned gym where great food meets great times. Enjoy El Patrio's signature margaritas and happy hour specials that keep their customers coming back for more. Indulge in their authentic Mexican dishes prepared with love and served in a warm, family-friendly atmosphere. Come to El Patrio and taste the traditions. El Patrio, where family, flavor, and fun come together.
When leaks, clogs, or cold showers slow you down, call on Anglin Plumbing, the plumbing experts who get the job done right the first time. Leaky faucet, sink, or toilet? Need a water heater installed? Call on Anglin Plumbing. You can always trust Anglin's reliable and hardworking technicians. Don't let plumbing headaches ruin your day. Call on Anglin Plumbing Service to get it fixed. And you can be a part of the team. Anglin Plumbing is now hiring. Learn more about Anglin Plumbing at anglinplumbing.com.
For over 15 years, A1 Gear and Auto has been your hometown specialist for your auto repair and maintenance needs. From brake repair to placement to radiators, engines, starters, alternators, heat, and AC water pumps, and more, A1 will get your vehicle back up and running and on the road and in a timely manner. A1 is one of the only shops in the metro that specializes in rear differentials, rear ends, and rings and pinions. Call today to set up an appointment, or if you got questions, at 601-939-1060. A1 Gear and Auto, your hometown vehicle specialist.
Your roof is constantly exposed to the elements, battling dirt, algae, and stains. But with Watkins Construction and Roofing Roof Wash Service, you can keep it looking like new. A proprietary rooficide treatment is EPA approved, safe, and guaranteed to prevent algae from coming back for at least 2 years. No harsh chemicals, no damage, no black streaks. Just a clean, beautiful roof that lasts. Call Watkins Construction and Roofing at 601-966-8233 or visit nomoreroofstains.com today.
Looking for adventure, amazing food, and a little relaxation all in one place? You'll find it at Cypress Point Resort in Brandon. Load up the family and experience a real drive-through safari, petting zoo, and thrilling guided Jeep tours. Then slow it down with mouth-watering steaks at the steakhouse or grab drinks and live music at the tavern. Planning a wedding or reunion? Cypress Point Resort has beautiful venues and cozy lodging. Ready for your big day or just a weekend escape? It's everything you love about the outdoors with a touch of luxury. Cypress Point Resort. Wild fun right around the corner.
Grill lovers already know about Grills of Mississippi, and so should you. Grills of Mississippi carries premium Weber grills, Yoder smokers, and outdoor kitchen accessories to take your backyard cooking to the next level. Whether you're a weekend griller or a serious pitmaster, Grills of Mississippi has the brands, the knowledge, and the service to help you do it right. Turn your backyard into the ultimate gathering spot. Visit grillsofms.com today. Grills of Mississippi, where great cooking starts.
Welcome back to the Clay Edwards Show. Breaking rules. Here we go. When necessary.
Breaking rules when necessary. This is the Clay Edwards Show. I'm Chip Matthews, filling in. And look, I'm looking online and I'm seeing where there's a school choice forum community discussion tonight where they make it look like the fors and the against are going to get together. And of course, on this list, I don't see anybody on the list that's on the against, the opposing perspective that is strong enough to handle the other side. The other side has got Gerard on it and Leah Ferretti, which is a good friend of mine. She does a great job. Lindsay, of course, a host here, and Starla Brown. They're all up there. That's what they got. And then on the other side, they don't have people like Jamie Creel and people that can talk about what it is. And they make it look like a school choice forum, which we're not trying. They're fixing to try to run this bill through again that everybody has said no to. You know, they got a moderator here and this, that, and the other. And this is going to be tonight at wherever, Sunkist Country Club, wherever that is. Where is that? But anyway, this is a insane meeting put on, let's see, that's Harrison County Republican Club and the Conservative Coalition of Mississippi. I can't believe that the Conservative Coalition of Mississippi would be supporting the school choice forum that is occurring. I mean, we are spending more time on school choice only because of all the money that's fixing to be involved in the local districts. They're only trying to divide up money, y'all. This is all about money. It has nothing to do. I mean, because their plan was what? We're going to take care of 10,000 special needs kids in Mississippi. We already have a program to take care of special needs kids in Mississippi. We already will get them the education that they need. This busing program that they want to busing, y'all. We're talking about we're 1964 all over again, 63, where the black community had their strong community with their own black business districts, and we're going to town. And there were millionaires and people there that in community involvement and people raising kids and there was a father in the home in the black community also. And in the white community, it was the same way. And all of these things were being built and people were going places. And so now you want to start, okay, this school's doing good over here in Pearl. Let's go ahead and take these people in Jackson. Let's bus them over there where they can learn over there because they can't learn over here. That's wrong. Busing, forcing people to live with each other. I mean, what are we doing, y'all? Why are we history repeating itself? Equal rights, not civil rights, y'all. That's what the issue really is. Every person is the same. You shouldn't have, when you decide to go to school, there should be nothing that decides whether you should go to school or not. And I mean, we get economically divided constantly. We have got economically divided communities, but that's because rich people don't want to live in slums, and they shouldn't have to. And if you want to be rich, get out, make it on your own, make you some money, and you can be rich. In America, you can have nothing yesterday and have it all tomorrow. That's just the way it is. And if you don't think that is the case, I'm a prime example of it. I am someone who, let's see, last year I had 1,500 square feet. Now I got 22,000 square feet in a business that is booming out at the reservoir. It's all about whether or not you want to get off your butt and kill it and make it. That's what you got to do. You got to want to get up and kill it the next day. I mean, Clay Edwards, this is his show, and I can remember when he and I opened up a business and he went down from there. You know, the money corrupted him. He went the wrong way for a little while. But then he woke up, figured it all out, and look where he is now. He does a great job. And he comes along and does his thing. That's what you want. In America, that is what makes us American, is that we can get up tomorrow morning and be free and get it done. You know, I've lived as a white man here in America for a while now, and because of race relations and this, that, and the other, I, as a white man, was not the one that would be qualified to get a loan at the bank because I was not a minority. I wasn't a one-armed black female lesbian. It would have helped me a whole lot, but I didn't meet the criteria. We'll be back with more at 8:07 right here with the Clay Edwards Show. I'm Chip Matthews filling in. It is Chip Matthews filling in for Clay Edwards on the Clay Edwards Show here. Good morning to everybody. Good to see y'all. Good to be a part of the program. And you can be a part by calling in 601-879-0002. We're looking at all the different things in the news. And, and Benny and Thompson in town trying to stir it up. Got the Democrats and the liberals all out there going to town. We got to save Mississippi from voting. Well, look, it doesn't matter how you redraw the lines. If there's a line that is drawn in Mississippi, you cannot tell me for a moment that one side or the other that you're going to dilute the black vote. If you, the only way to dilute the black vote in Jackson is to what? Move a bunch of white folks there, right? The talk of what they're trying to do does not work. And then when we're talking about all this in this county, in Madison County, in Hinds County, we should be drawing redistricting already also, because it is not to be used. Race cannot be what we use to decide what the lines are going to be like. Let's go to the phone, see what we're getting into. Good morning. You're on the air. Hello.
Hi, my name is Kate from Simple. Good morning. I'm looking to speak with Matthew.
Matthew, you're on the radio show.
Sorry. I must have the wrong number.
Okay.
Have a good day. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Okay. There you go. Nobody wants to really talk. But, if you redraw District 2. Now, look, y'all, District 2 is from Memphis all the way down to Macomb. Everything west of I-55, plus 4 counties on the right side. Now, for anybody to think that land mass is what someone should be covering, and if you did it right, if they'd done it right and left all of Madison County in there and all of Hinds County in there and everything like that, it's like you based it on race. You said, look, we got to cut out Madison and Ridgeland. We can't have those white folks voting in Benny Thompson district. Then you got to go to Northeast Jackson. We can't have those white folks voting for Benny Thompson. So you moved all those people over to allegedly make it right. And the people that drew the lines, Delbert was a big part of that. Don't ever think he wasn't. And people in the legislature that are over 20, 30 years in office, they're all a part of it. And when we look at committee assignments and you're looking at Democrats that have been put on there, you're saying, they want to look at you and say, well, we got to do both sides because it's only right to do both sides. Not if the state is red. Not if the state is completely red and you're trying to do conservative policies and do that. No, we don't have a legislature that fights among themselves. You don't have Democrats fighting with Republicans, except right now where they're all just making a little noise about redistricting. They don't fight during the year because they divide the money up among them, and they're all happy with the way to divide. You get this much, I get this much. You give it to your nonprofits, I give it to my nonprofits. My nonprofits will donate to my campaign. I'll put it in my pocket and I'll go home with it. That's what we're doing. And then you look at the corruption. You go. The police aren't doing their job. Well, the police aren't doing their job because they don't have enough money to run their department. They go, we gave them enough money, but every time you turn around, they're under budgeted. And then when they have a budget, then all of a sudden they're understaffed. And you're understaffed. Why? Because we can't afford to hire any more people. And that's the city of Jackson, city of Canton, all the other cities. Police securing, making people safe is the first job of you as an elected official in any city, in your district, in your town, your area. Your first job is to make it safe. And when you go to make it safe, then you can walk around in your community and feel good. You ain't got to worry about being shot. You ain't got to, and safe goes beyond just the police department. Safe also means the public services that you provide there, lights in the city, the roads being correct, the access to everything that you need in order to survive. You should be able to. When I use the term Mayberry, when it's just to describe a town that I grew up in Canton, when it was like that, you knew what was going on. You knew what your neighbor was going to do. Your neighbors kept up with what you're doing. We called them nosy, Now, if they'd just be nosy enough to tell us who was doing the shooting, we'd be better off, right? It was sort of like the Neighborhood Crime Watch program before we had the Neighborhood Crime Watch program. As soon as we had it, nobody wanted to do it anymore. Nobody wanted to be the nosy neighbor. But we had the nosy neighbors. We had the Ms. Kravitz that were like on Bewitched, and people that kept up with what was going on in the house and what was going on in your neighborhood. That's what we need again. We need to get connected back to our community. And when you have a politician, you need to know that politician is got your values of your community, of your neighborhood. So, for instance, when you got a district for Benny Thompson that goes from Memphis to Natchez, look, the problems in Memphis, just south of Memphis, are totally different than the problems down in Natchez. Okay? The problems are completely different. And then you have all 4 HBCUs in Benny Thompson's district. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. And at those schools, a lot of the students there are not Mississippi students. They're people that come in from other parts of the country to come here to become radicalized. They come here to get educated, but when they get here, look, I can promise you, I've been over to the campus and talked to people that when you go to visit them and they moved here from Chicago or Boston or somewhere to go to school, they get dropped in Jackson, Mississippi, and downtown they're going, holy cow, what is my mama thinking? Of course, they can go to school for free here. Everybody can go to school for free here. You can get you a doctorate from Jackson State just by, I think they have a drive-through window to pick them up. But I mean, that's not the way school's supposed to be. Not everybody's supposed to get educated. Everybody needs education. Everybody wants to get educated, but we have cheapened education to nothing. I mean, to get people out of high school, the Mississippi Miracle is a Mississippi myth. We don't have people that have learned to read and write. Look, I'm hiring people every day out at my restaurant. I'm hiring people that tell me, oh, I don't know how to write. They only teach us how to sign our name. They don't teach cursive writing anymore. No, they don't. And I mean, when you look at them, that's the computer's down. We're going to have to write on pads. I pulled out gas checks, and they're looking at me. They can't do that. They can't add. They can't do anything unless they have their phone. And then they talk to their phone to see how to write, what to write. And I'm just going, you can't do that. I mean, you got to do that and then connect it to a printer and this, that, and the other in order to get it into the computer. I mean, that's back to what our problem is. Our computer is not working. And, the world has changed so much to where everybody can't do anything anymore. I mean, we don't want to do better. We want to live in our bubble, learn a new app on our phone, and be left alone. When it comes to voting, we don't care. We're not going to go vote. We don't even vote in surveys. A lot of surveys we don't care about. They do everything in the world to move the needle, and they'll say a survey says that everybody in Mississippi would rather be left alone. And you don't know that that's true. Whatever they say. Everybody in Mississippi hates Trump, but Trump wins Mississippi in an election. Why? Maybe he wouldn't if 17 to 20% of the people vote in the state. So of those percentage of people, that's what they wanted. Never mind that none of us have the right to vote. I mean, the last time we all voted statewide, we approved pot. They said, oh, we'll take the right to vote away from you. Why? And they said, look, the ballot initiative redistricting should have happened 8 years ago now. It should have already happened. We got to get 20% of the state's population to vote on something in order for everybody to put it on a referendum. Oh, we got to have 5 districts. Well, when you only have 4, 20% is still 20% of the state. In 5 districts or in 4 districts, it's 20% is still 20%. But y'all said that the law says there's got to be 5 different districts. Well, fix it or make 5 different districts. The 5 districts were based on congressional count, and that's due to population. We allegedly didn't have enough population. Meanwhile, these other states that were letting in all the illegals, they were counting the illegals, and so we lost a congressman over that. Yeah, we lost a congressman because of illegals getting in other places in America. Let's go to the phone. YEB. Hello. Good morning. Morning. How are you?
Anybody there?
I'm here. What are you doing?
Not a whole lot. What color am
You're caller number one. What you want? What did you win?
I don't know.
Okay. Okay. So what's on your mind?
Well, I don't know.
Okay. Well, thank you for calling then. That's just amazing to me. I don't know. It's unreal what goes on in the real world and the oblivious people. Caller number whatever. What do you think we're giving away? I have no idea. Anyway, we'll be back with more right here on the Clay Edwards Show. I'm Chip Matthews filling in on a. What do you think we're giving away? I have no idea. Anyway, we'll be back with more right here on the Clay Edwards Show. I'm Chip Matthews filling in.
Keep it tuned here to 103.9 WYAB.
You love your land, and you have plans for it. During Kubota Orange Days, you'll love the great deals on our versatile, reliable lineup, helping you turn dream projects into reality. Visit your Kubota dealer today for the best deals of the year. Now through June 30th, 0% financing available or save up to $5,500 off select compact tractors. Sale ends soon. Stop by your local dealer or go to gokubota.com.
Visit Davini Equipment in Madison and Jackson or at DaviniEquipment.com.
We all plan to be on time, but fender benders, damaged windshield, and slick roads quickly disrupt those plans. At Shelter Insurance, our agents help design personal protection plans that work for you and help keep you on track. Shelter Insurance. We're your shield. We're your shelter.
See Shelter Agent Jamie Creel in Flora and Ridgeland, 601-992-6000.
Now is the time to turn over a new leaf and shower yourself with savings at Mazda of Jackson. Mazda of Jackson has rates as low as 0.9% on select models, or spring into savings with up to $3,000 in customer cash with approved credit. Get to Mazda Jackson today, where certified pre-owned vehicles and hassle-free trade-in options are also available. Shop online at MazdaofJackson.com or visit Mazda of Jackson, I-55 Frontage Road.
Looking for the perfect spot to unwind with friends and family? El Patrio Mexican Restaurant is calling your name. With locations in Flowood and Cross Gates, Brandon, El Patrio is the cozy, family-owned gym where great food meets great times. Enjoy El Patrio's signature margaritas and happy hour specials that keep their customers coming back for more. Indulge in their authentic Mexican dishes prepared with love and served in a warm, family-friendly atmosphere. Come to El Patrio and taste the traditions. El Patrio, where family, flavor, and fun come together.
Hey guys, this is Casey Ellis with Ellis Autoplex, located on Highway 471 in Brandon. Ellis Autoplex, known as Little Truck City, is your old school mom and pop style dealership that's family owned and operated. We specialize in 4-wheel drive trucks, but don't worry, we have cars and SUVs too. Looking to sell your vehicle? Bring it by Ellis Autoplex, where we pay fair market value and we cut you a check on the spot. Need your vehicle serviced or repaired? We can handle that too. Shop us online or set your appointment at ellisautoplex.com. That's ellisautoplex.com.
When it's time to get serious about work-ready equipment, come see me, Noah Sullivan, at H&H Chief Sales in Carthage. From rugged Big Tex trailers to durable CM and Legend X truck beds, H&H has what your truck needs to work harder and last longer. For the field, H&H carries reliable ag equipment from Salford, New Leader, and Chandler. Visit H&H Chief Sales in Carthage today or anytime at hhchiefsales.com. H&H, quality equipment, knowledgeable service, and solutions that work as hard as you do.
The only thing hotter than Mississippi in the summer is a Mississippi summer when the power goes out. This summer, be ready. Call Cowden Electric. They can install a permanent standby generator that automatically kicks on the second the power fails and keeps your whole house running. Hey, you already got a portable generator? Call Cowden Electric and let them set it up so you can safely plug it into your breaker box and power just the essentials. Don't wait for the next outage. Call Cowden Electric today or visit CowdenElectric.com and stay powered up when the grid goes down. CowdenElectric.com.
Welcome back to the Clay Edwards Show. Breaking rules. Here we go. When necessary.
Chip Matthews filling in for Clay Edwards on the Clay Edwards Show this morning. Of course, my show is every morning, 6 a.m. Y'all be here, so I'm here. Yes, indeedy. Yes, indeedy. Y'all, I was just looking over some of the stuff in the news and this, that, and the other. The $2 million in grants that the chief, what's her name, Rochelle Brackney, the person that I refer to affectionately as the mayor's girlfriend, got to be. I mean, Who else gets hired for $120,000 a year job and gets a $30,000 raise before she starts, and then you pay for the housing and you pay for moving expenses, and then let me give you a new vehicle, got her a new Durango, and then you forgot to get her a uniform where she'd have some police uniforms to wear in public, but she probably has a clothing allowance and just decides she'll buy regular clothes for that, because why? As a Democrat, should you look like a real, like you really care about your job? But anyways, she wants $2 million in grants and grants, y'all. Understand the grant. I want y'all to understand where grant money comes from. It comes out of your tax dollars. And some of these grants come from, it'll say it came from a private fund, and you'll go back and find out that they're a nonprofit who also gets money from the state, and the state gives it to them, and then they give it back in different ways to people, because everybody's working on filtering their money down and getting their cut along the way. So all politicians in Mississippi are the same, Republican or Democrat. They're all filtering the money. You got to have the filters, to make things happen. But anyway, when we look at this, she wants to look at youth violence in the area and with the $2 million and come up with a solution to the problem before we get to the problem. The problem is you need to control the streets of Jackson. You need to patrol the streets of Jackson. You need to be in a situation where I don't cut on the internet and I'm looking at officers doing figure eights in the parking lot, wheelies, just riding in figure eights and racing around and just tearing up the vehicles just as badly as everybody else does. I mean, those tires are expensive, y'all. The cars are expensive. The person in it is expensive. Everybody there is expensive and working. And there's somebody TikTok video in a Jackson police car doing figure eights. And, in Canton, they had police cars that wound up in videos over different bad. Boo the Bad Man had a video out with them years ago. But, I mean, this is not what we pay for. We don't pay for the culture to take over. Just because you're black and have become the majority of an area, which y'all seem to act like you haven't. It's when you go to divide the district in Jackson's still going to be black. Just like in Canton, when you divide it up, you're still going to be black. If the people that live there are black, that's what they are. We just can't divide the race. The districts cannot be drawn based on race. But the culture of the equipment and the stuff that you have, you've got to have respect for my tax dollars, period. And you don't. You just steal my tax dollars. When my tax dollars come in to buy a police car, and you pay for a policeman, you pay for policeman and a police car. We're not paying for a policeman to get mad at you because you're not doing your job. And we say something to the policeman for not doing your job, and you arrest a 70-year-old woman. Yeah, you arrested her. Why? Because she was interfering with telling me what to do when you were supposed to be doing something. Yeah, you arrested a person. Then someone called the dog catcher in Canton. This is really funny. They called Mr. Tchaikovsky in Canton and said, look, I got 2 dogs out. I'm trying to get some help. Oh, let me write you a ticket for not being in control of your dogs. $1,500 worth of tickets for not being in control of your dogs. And all they did was get out of the fence and you were out trying to find them and you called for help. You would think the first rule would be to help her get her dogs back. And then if she did not have a fence or this, that, and the other, and there was ways that they were always going to get out, that's when you look at a fine or a remedy. Not, you write a ticket for somebody that their dogs are out, but if they run the red light, you don't do anything. When they speed through town, they don't do anything. When they run over somebody on the square, you don't do anything. When they steal my car got stolen. We talk about this forever because I still haven't got my Jaguar back, but it's still at the shop because they're still trying to find a key to fit it. You have all these things go on and nobody seems to care at all. Let's go to the phone. YEB, you're on the air. Hello.
Yeah.
How are you doing?
I'm doing all right. I was listening to the radio show this morning.
Yeah.
Chip.
Yeah. What you got?
I got a little fact sheet here that I want to read, and we'll talk about what the first part of the show was about this morning.
What was it about?
We got Boudreaux. He has to protect Lake Pontchartrain.
Right.
The Humas is 21 miles wide. The causeway is 26 miles wide.
Mm-hmm.
Boudreaux's got a 1970 9.8 Mercury with a 14-foot P-roll.
Right.
And single shot rifle. He's got a one-eyed dog. And a T-shirt says, "Beware of the dog."
Yeah.
The boat leaks so damn bad, he has to keep his water dipped out with his pea pot.
Right.
To keep it from sinking.
Right.
If we have to send him to open up that damn strait over there, let's at least buy him a new boat.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So the topic of the subject is, I love President Trump.
Yes.
Okay. Now it's time for President Trump to take care of business over there or get off in the pot.
Well, he's about to. He's
Okay,
about
don't
to.
you agree?
I agree.
Don't you agree?
I agree completely, because what he's done is he's laid it all out. He's let all the people that had something to say something, and then one thing he will do is he will mow the grass. When it's time to mow the grass, he's gonna mow the grass. You know, he'll let there and let you say, "Oh, well, you need to do this. You need to save that kind of grass. You got to stay away from them flowers." Then all of a sudden he'll say, "Excuse, enough. Boom. That's what's going to happen. You know,
Yeah, like I was talking to Clay, it's been probably 3 weeks ago. Hell, I'm 84 years old. I had to get a little slower every morning getting around. I listen to y'all show 24/7.
There you
go. Anyway, I was telling him, I used to live over in that part of the country over there. I had a dual citizenship. Still got a dual citizenship. Had my own house and had to do it just like I do, here in the States to live. And you especially Iran, you don't negotiate with those people.
No, they have sleeper cells in this country right now.
You damn right, buddy. Right here in Jackson, Mississippi.
And for people to think that they don't exist, you're insane. You're insane to think. I don't mean to be fear mongering or anything, but y'all, the border was open. They got everybody in. That's why you have these mosque. They're looking for the ways to do it. They're mosque shooting. They might be even running around with Benny Thompson and them on all this other stuff that's going on.
Hey.
Don't think it ain't going on.
We got an old man's club.
Yeah.
We drink beer, play dominoes.
Yeah.
Have for last years and years. Benny Thompson is trying to persuade the black people that he and the blacks and the damn NAACP, all of them, can change the Supreme Court's ruling. He's trying to convince the people that Mississippi can change and, changes the Supreme Court ruling on redistricting.
I mean, the job is this. The job of the Supreme Court is to enforce the Constitution.
That's
period.
Right, exactly.
The job of every
Thompson.
And that's the job of every judge. And if every judge would just enforce the rules that are in front of them, which is the Constitution's, then these kids would be in jail. These people would be, the murderers would be murdered. I mean, they're not murdered. I mean, the death sentence would be handed out. People would not be getting out every 5 minutes and doing the same crime again.
Exactly.
We have a Constitution. Use it.
Damn right. And at 4:30 on the news, they tell and show a lot of news from 4:30 to 5 of the morning that you don't see on TV after that anymore.
Right. Because they have to filter it.
They run it. It didn't mention they run it on the ticker tape on the bottom about a dozen times on Channel 12. Benny Thompson and the head of the NAACP has come out and says that everybody in the South boycott the sports. Did you see or hear that?
Yes, I did see that. That is the stupidest thing I've ever seen.
Hey, how damn dumb do he think people is?
Let me ask you're looking to become a millionaire and you want to take that. I mean, these guys, you got a quarterback at Ole Miss that's making $6 million a year. Excuse me, I'm going to go home and I'm going to make that money. I'm going to go and get into a civil rights fight that was settled 40 years ago.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
I mean,
I'll tell you what Benny Thompson ought to do when he's talking about boycotting the sports. That sucker ought to call up Jerry Rice, Dak Prescott, the guy that plays for the Saints from
Deuce.
Brandon.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
They ought to call them up and call up that quarterback for Ole Miss and ask them about boycotting the sports.
I mean, that's the most insane thing in the world to think that. I mean, these boycotts don't do anything. I mean, the problem that they say exists does not exist anymore. You're wanting equal rights instead of civil rights. And James Meredith, for those that were keeping score, when he went into Ole Miss, he was asking for civil rights, not equal. I mean, equal rights, not civil rights. And he has come out and said that many, many, many times. And people don't realize that civil rights were just for blacks.
Yeah.
Period. And that's why when a white man says, "Look, you're invading my civil rights," they go, "Oh, no, I'm not, because you don't have any." Yeah, and that's the way they say that.
What the big deal is now? They hide behind the race card.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we hide behind that race card.
And
let me tell you something else funny as hell.
Okay.
You remember when Kaepernick out there for what? I don't know.
49er.
40. You remember the stunt he pulled,
right?
And you remember how many billions of dollars it cost the NFL. You remember?
Yep.
And they lost so much money. I don't know whether they'll be able to recover or not.
No, they've never recovered completely, in my opinion. And then for that reason, there's a lot of NFL I don't watch anymore.
Hell, me neither. Hell no. 99% of the NFL I don't watch.
I mean, it's just. To me, it's boring football. I'd rather see college football 24 hours a day.
I want to tell you something.
Okay, you got to say it quick.
Okay. My grandson is a defensive coach in the Pac-12.
Okay.
Played 2 years of pro ball, played for Mississippi down here, he played for Alabama. Hey, we know damn football what's going on.
Oh, well, I'm going to tell you this. My thing on the Pac-12 and Lane Kiffin, I got a thing there too. I think the Pac-12 sent Lane Kiffin here to kill the SEC.
Yeah.
I mean, he's at Tennessee, he's at Ole Miss, he's at Alabama, he's at LSU, all the big schools. And that's because you can't make no money in the Pac-12. They got to kill the SEC in order to get there. So then he plays race politics because that's what plays in the South.
The only damn thing Lane Kiffin never done is when he got to Ole Miss, he had a quarterback. Hell, he don't have no track record.
No, not really.
Damn, and I think when them people in LSU find that's about the second game, they're going to fire his ass.
Well, they've never done well getting coaches from Mississippi. I remember when they got one from Southern Mississippi a long time ago, Bobby Collins, and it didn't do them any good. Okay, we'll be back with more right here on the Chip Magic Show. Thanks for calling, and we're filling in for Clay today. Okay, we'll be back with more right here on the Chip Magic Show. Thanks for calling, and we're filling in for Clay today.
1039 WYAB.
This is Central Mississippi's Stimulating Talk.
1039 WYAB. Pocahontas, Jackson.
For decades, you've known the name Martin's for good times, great food, and the best live music. Now that's happening at 2 locations, downtown Jackson and Livingston. Check the websites, martinslivingstonms.com and martinsdowntownjxn.com for the many special events and live music lineups. You can chill with friends on the big patio at the Livingston location and enjoy the Blue Plate lunches and nightly drink specials. Martin's, downtown and Livingston.
Hey, business owners, want your phones to ring away? Get your name on the airwaves with the Clay Edwards Show today. Tell the town who you are while they're driving in their cars. If you want your business to grow, advertise on the Clay Edwards Show. Contact info at WIAB.com. Contact info at WIAB.com.
Metal Builder Supply in Pearl provides quality commercial and residential metal roofing, pre-engineered steel buildings, mini storage facilities, pole barns, and steel components with old-time service and competitive prices. Through our commitment, experience, and expertise, Metal Builder Supply has established a business relationship with our customers that will last a lifetime. When you need metal roofing, reflective insulation, trim, or metal decking, contact Metal Builder Supply online at metalbuildersupplypearl.com.
Hi, Kim Wade here. Hot weather requires us to run the AC nonstop. Pure Air Consultants can inspect your unit today to ensure your AC is operating at peak performance. Pure Air Consultants is your go-to Rheem partner that can get the job done and have you resting in comfort in no time. Locally owned and operated, they have proudly served our community for over 22 years. Contact Pure Air Consultants today at mypureairconsultants.com. Rheem and Pure Air Consultants to the rescue.
Hey, Rankin County, swing by the locally owned and award-winning 042 Wine and Spirits on Highway 80 next to Sonny's Barbecue in Brandon today. We've got one of the largest selections around with over 200 bourbons and whiskeys to ignite your taste buds, more than 50 vodkas, 50-plus tequilas, 30-plus rums, and ready-to-drink cocktails, as well as premium scotches. And get this, we've got over 400 wines in stock for the perfect pairing anytime. Discover your new favorites today at 042 Wine and Spirits right next to Sonny's Barbecue, Highway 80, Cross Gates, Brandon. Looking for the perfect spot to unwind with friends and family? El Patrio Mexican Restaurant is calling your name. With locations in Flowood and Cross Gates, Brandon, El Patrio is the cozy, family-owned gym where great food meets great times. Enjoy El Patrio's signature margaritas and happy hour specials that keep their customers coming back for more. Indulge in their authentic Mexican dishes prepared with love and served in a warm, family-friendly atmosphere. Come to El Patrio and taste the traditions. El Patrio, where family, flavor, and fun come together.
You love your land, and you have plans for it. During Kubota Orange Days, you'll love the great deals on our versatile, reliable lineup, helping you turn dream projects into reality. Visit your Kubota dealer today for the best deals of the year. Now through June 30th, 0% financing available or save up to $5,500 off select compact tractors. Sale ends soon. Stop by your local dealer or go to gokubota.com.
Visit Davini Equipment in Madison and Jackson or at daviniEquipment.com.
When leaks, clogs, or cold showers slow you down, call on Anglin Plumbing, the plumbing experts who get the job done right the first time. Leaky faucet, sink, or toilet? Need a water heater installed? Call on Anglin Plumbing. You can always trust Anglin's reliable and hardworking technicians. Don't let plumbing headaches ruin your day. Call on Anglin Plumbing Service to get it fixed. And you can be a part of the team. Anglin Plumbing is now hiring. Learn more about Anglin Plumbing at anglinplumbing.com.
Welcome back to the Clay Edwards Show. Breaking rules. Here we go. When necessary.
It is the Clay Edwards Show. I'm Chip Matthews filling in here on a Thursday here. Overcast day outside. They're off and on rain showers all weekend long. No. It's not going to be that way. You're going to come on out and see us at the Gulf of Beethoven's at the Beethoven's Boardwalk. Today, chicken and dressing. Smoked chicken and dressing, and also meatloaf. And you come on out and enjoy a great meal here at lunchtime, $15. You'll love it. Tomorrow is Friday, and, of course, on Friday, it's ribs and catfish on the lunch plate. Then, of course, all weekend long, it's the best food, the best entertainment. Tonight we have, well, it's not the best entertainment tonight. It's Mike Mott. Just kidding, Mike. Also going on this weekend, Tony's Crawfish is going to invade. We got a real Cajun coming in to cook crawfish this weekend. And he's got crawfish. He's got shrimp. Y'all come on out and check it out. We'll be cooking that and serving it on the deck this weekend, and you can come get you some of that. Also, the music this weekend, Love and Ledbetter is on Saturday night. Angela Pittman and Unfinished Business on Friday night. And Sweet Tooth Jones is on Sunday afternoon. And then we even have Entertainment Monday. Don't you dare miss it. Remember the Sunday Super Brunch with the buffet, which also features a bluegrass gospel band. Yep, bluegrass for lunch. That's what I'm talking about. Come on out and see us. It's a full weekend at the new place where everybody is going to on the Reservoir, the Gulf of Beethoven's, where Beethoven Boardwalk is located. Also an Acme Pizza inside there. We also have pool tables upstairs. But it's really just a family entertainment place. Bring the whole family and enjoy it out there. And if you're, that's it's good. It's just good family entertainment and food. Okay, let's get back to some of this stuff that's in the news. I guess with Benny Thompson and all them in town yesterday, I heard rumor, and it may be just rumor, speculating, just allegedly, that they were taking applications for trying to recruit some KKK members to be a part of their Southern Poverty Law Center next attack. Because, it's hard to have a protest when you don't have anybody to protest against. They're protesting against redistricting, and they scheduled that whole thing to people come from all over the country to come in and talk about things, and they didn't have anybody to fight against because they weren't there. Then, of course, if we were to go downtown and want to have a parade today for just anything, let's say we wanted to go through there and just say, we love chicken and dressing, and we want to walk down the street, we would have to go get a permit. But in the city of Jackson, yesterday, they let them march in Jackson. Did they have a permit? I mean, I've heard about several things that occurred in Jackson didn't have a permit, but they marched through the city streets of Jackson trying to stir the pot. Their only goal is to get people motivated to go vote. And they're peaking too soon, but they're trying to stir the hate. We got to get you to hate. We got to embed it in your brain to hate. And they're doing it based on race. So they want you to hate the white man. That's all it is. NAACP, Benny Thompson, hate the white man because the white man is trying to suppress the vote. We're not trying to suppress the vote. We're trying to get to equal rights. And they're saying you're hiding behind equal rights. No, civil rights has always made the scales unbalanced. If you look at justice is blind. The scales are supposed to be balanced. That's the way America's supposed to run. Balanced, free. Everything is good for everybody. Or it's bad for everybody. It's not, the balance of justice is justice, y'all. And justice is blind. Plus tax. I mean, of course, we got to pay for it. But when we pay a tax, Mississippi, we get everything because, government, we send $1 to the federal government. They send us back $2. Why? Buying the black vote. They buy the black vote nationally. They want everything to done that way. And it's just wrong. It's wrong that everything has to be based on race, and people go, well, in some communities, black and whites live together, but that's because they choose to, or they can economically do that. That's the way it is. Your neighbor, when you gather your friends, you'd rather your friends be the people that you go. When you get in the car, you don't change cars to somebody else. And when you look at the school choice where they're trying to bus kids again, that's all they're trying to do is bring up busing again in school choice. And all they're trying to really do is come up with a way to manipulate and move the money around inside the state. Because the state should be working on reducing taxes, property taxes, car tax. Do you realize what all supposed to pay for our roads to be good? And we pay the highest price for a tax. You got people, not only are we paying the high gas tax now, and we have the raised gas tax in Mississippi, and the taxes are supposed to take care of the roads, but what is the tag money supposed to do? That's supposed to be taking care of the roads too. Then what about the casino money, the sin money that we brought in? That's supposed to be paying for the roads too. Every cent, the lottery money, there's some money there for roads. Everywhere you look, we're trying to fund roads and we ain't got no roads. How you like that English language. We ain't got no roads. We ain't got no repairs. And you had a Hines County supervisor on the news last night. We're going to fix this bridge that's been out for 3 or 4 years. Of course it's out. We paid for that bridge to be built long ago. Don't act like you're doing something just because you're doing what needs to be done, but doing the obvious. That's all a bunch of these people do is they just work and do the obvious everywhere you go. They don't do what they're supposed to do. You know, people out there in the world are insane. They're nuts. They're crazy. And that's what makes people not want to vote. We're not going to vote. They're not going to do anything. So we're just not going to vote for anybody. I don't want to vote for the wrong person. We already had our primary this year. And so there is no things going to happen to where we can have Trump come in and get rid of somebody that's running for office because he doesn't like them. Okay? It can't happen because you already did that. We had our primary back in February, March, April, way back then, and we're not going to vote till November. In these other states where you're seeing that Mitch McConnell and people like that are unseated, and that's because all this blew up at the time in which it blew up, and so he's going to get rid of it. He's going to drain the swamp. And don't think that Mississippi's going to sit there and say we're not going to redistrict. They're going to make us redistrict. It's got to happen. And it's as simple as filing a lawsuit because we know that the lines are already drawn based on race. And based on race, you can't decide anything. Based on race, we can't decide who's going to school. Based on race, you can't decide that you're going to get a check. Based on race, in Mississippi, if you're black, you're going to get a check. If you're not married and you got kids, you're going to get a check. We separate everything based on an economic chart that says you can have every dollar you want in the state if you'll just shut up and give your soul over to them and be part of the socialism that has become the world of Benny Thompson, which is the entire state of Mississippi. I mean, when you go to a small town, some of the money that comes into that small town, most of the tax base comes off of the government checks that come into that market. You know, they're the only ones in that town. When you go through the Delta, every one of these little towns. So when they don't have any money to pay, they don't have any money to pay. They don't have any tax base to build anything, nothing to make it better. And it's all based on race. And it's all based on the fact that if Benny wants them to have it, they can have it. And if they don't want to have it, they don't have it. They don't have health care. They don't have this. But he can always scream that that's what he needs. And then he'll get a grant. Then he rides around and gives out checks like he's done something. No, people need to do for themselves. People need to get back to doing the work. People don't need to sit on their butts. You know, you can have nothing in America. You can have nothing yesterday and everything tomorrow. And you don't have to steal it. You don't have to ask for a handout to get there. All you have to do is get off your lazy butt and do it. We'll be back with more right here on the Clay Edwards Show. I'm Chip Matthews. You don't have to ask for a handout to get there. All you have to do is get off your lazy butt and do it.
1039 WYAB.
Tired of the brutal Mississippi sun beating down on your ride or home? Lakeland Glass and Tint in Flowood has you covered. They specialize in professional window tint for cars, homes, and businesses using premium Expel film, plus top-tier paint protection film, ceramic coatings, and full vehicle wraps. Change your truck's color or turn it into a rolling billboard without an expensive paint job. Get a free quote today at LakelandGlassandTint.com. That's LakelandGlassandTint.com. Lakeland Glass and Tint, Central Mississippi's tint and wrap pros.
You know, they call it jewelry fashion because just like clothing styles, jewelry styles change too.
And that's why John and I are excited about all the new styles in Juniker's new spring collections.
We have new bridal and wedding ring styles arriving daily.
Like bezels and half bezel settings.
Settings for elongated ovals and radiant cut diamonds.
And yellow gold is back in a big way.
Cigar band styles and settings in diamond fashion are really hot this season.
And dazzling bezel set diamond bands make a huge statement on every well-dressed woman.
Come see all the new spring styles in bridal and fashion jewelry today at Juniker Jewelry Company.
Mississippi's largest fine jeweler and your direct diamond importer.
Remember, you can't buy a better quality diamond at a lower price anywhere in Mississippi. That's the Juniker's money-back diamond guarantee.
Juniker Jewelry Company, Mississippi's direct diamond importer. 1485 Highland Colony Parkway, just south of 463 in Madison, and junikerjewelry.com.
Have you been injured through no fault of your own? Do you know your rights? Don Evans does. Do you really believe that the insurance company would disclose all information to you? Don Evans will make sure that you are fully informed. It costs nothing to discuss your case. From car wrecks to malpractice, Don Evans will make you and your family whole again. Don Evans won't ever charge unless he collects for you. Call Don for a free, no-obligation consultation at 601-969-2006.
This is Demario Davis from the New Orleans Saints. As a Brandon, Mississippi native, I've seen the positive effects Mercy House Adult and Teen Challenge has across the state. Help us restore broken families and fight against addiction by donating an unneeded vehicle, even if it doesn't run. Mercy House will pick it up for you. All paperwork is handled and you receive a tax deduction. Call 601-572-7296 or visit vehicledonationsms.com.
Thank you for helping us get our daddies back.
For decades, you've known the name Martin's for good times, great food, and the best live music. Now that's happening at 2 locations, downtown Jackson and Livingston. Check the websites martinslivingstonms.com and martinsdowntownjxn.com for the many special events and live music lineups. You can chill with friends on the big patio at the Livingston location and enjoy the blue plate lunches and nightly drink specials. Martin's, downtown and Livingston.
Get ready, Louisiana! Johnny's Pizza House is turning up the heat with our sweet the swamp pizza. Packed with crawfish, shrimp, a taste of crack, andouille sausage, bell peppers, onions, jalapenos, and a blend of Cajun spices, all smothered in delicious mozzarella cheese. It's the perfect bite of the bayou and the perfect meal for any Cajun crave. Try our Cajun Flint or dive into a sweet the swamp pizza bowl. A taste of Louisiana flavor is waiting on you. Let's share a slice today at Johnny's Pizza House.
Welcome back to the Clay Edwards Show. Breaking rules. Here we go. When necessary.
Chip Matthews filling in for Clay Edwards here on the little last segment here before what's his name? Mike Madison comes in. And then, of course, at 10 o'clock, it's the Andrew Gosser Show, all gas and no breaks. And then, of course, Lindsay comes in at noon. And then this afternoon, the one, the only, the Kim Wade, Radio Strongman. This afternoon, 4 to 6. And, of course, the Kim Wade Listener Appreciation Party is next Thursday. Not this Thursday, but next Thursday at Beethoven's on the Reservoir, my new place out there, Beethoven's Boardwalk. Come on out and enjoy that. He'll be there. Starts at 6 o'clock. You'll want to be a part of it. Come out there. I believe a lot of the staff from WYAB will be there, and you can come out and meet all of us and shake hands and kiss babies, and we'll politically talk to you about everything that's going on in the world. You know, it's sad when we sit here, and the biggest problem in America and in Mississippi is laziness. Just flat lazy. We're too lazy to go vote. We're too lazy to go make a change. We're too lazy to go fix what we need to fix in the world. It's Memorial Day weekend. And what did the ladies do from the South just after the Civil War? They got out and put flowers on the graves of the fallen. Not just Confederates, but also the Northerners or the Americans. I mean, they're all Americans. But the Confederate soldiers and the Yankees, they put Union shoulders. That's the word I'm looking for. Union shoulders. They put flowers on everyone's grave because everyone was fighting for what they believed in. Everybody was fighting for a cause. They were fighting for their neighbor. And that's what we got to do now. We got to go back to fighting for our neighbor. We don't need to be bused across town to go to school. We don't need to do that. We got to fix our own community. We got to fix our own block. We got to fix our own street. We got to fix our own house. You got to fix your house. If your kids are not living with you in your house, why? Why are they not? You getting a divorce? Can you fix your marriage? Can you fix anything? Can you work to keep the ship together? I mean, everything works when when everybody's working to be together. You know, businesses don't work unless everybody's on the same team. Nothing works unless you all want to try and strive and do a better job of getting along with everybody else in the world and getting along with yourself and doing the right things. Our money in America could do us so much good. I mean, that's why we're the strongest nation in the world. Everybody doesn't, you don't see people trying to get into Iran. They want to get into here. Everybody wants to live here. Mexico, they want to live here. Never mind, we think that Mexico is the best place to go and hang out. That's some great weather down there, good tequila. You know, it's sort of like Mississippi. I always say this about Mississippi. The state of Mississippi really should include Memphis and New Orleans. But because of the way we drew the lines way back then, we didn't want those two sinful cities inside our thing. So we put Beale Street in Memphis just over the line, and then we put New Orleans just down south of the line because we weren't going to have all that degradation in the state because we had Natchez already and Vicksburg already, which they were borderline iffy, but the big sins went on to the other two. So we moved them outside the state. That's what I always say. But if you drew the lines right, they'd both be in Mississippi. They were both funded by the money that we carried up there to go do it. But anyway, we didn't want it in our backyard. And that's real Baptist of us. In our backyard, we don't want to see the degradation and the crimes and this, that, and the other. But over the years, we've gotten to where we just look the other way. We don't work on keeping our neighborhood right, our neighborhood clean, our records clean. We don't look at politicians the same way as we did in the 60s and 70s and the 80s when we cared about what they were doing. We cared about what they did. They cared about us because they wanted our vote. But they've learned that we can steal all the money. Nobody's going to say anything because we've got everybody down to where they don't want to go vote anymore. They divide and conquered us, the voters and the non-voters. 17% of the state decided who was going to be in the primary to move forward in this next election coming up in November. And so you'll look at the ballot and say, I don't like anybody on the ballot, so I'm not going to go vote. Well, that's exactly what they want you to do. They want you not to vote. And then meanwhile, since they only got to move a few votes, the Black Caucus and the NAACP is in town trying to move enough people and get them to where they want to fight and say that we're trying to take away civil rights. And this, that, and we're not taking away civil rights. We're giving you equal rights. That's what you fought for. That's what it was all about, was equal rights, not civil rights. It's about everybody being fair and equal and being on the same team. You know, you divide and conquer. That's what they're doing. We're supposed to all be working together as Mississippians, as Southerners, as citizens of the United States. And at this Memorial Day weekend, think of all the people who have died to give you the right to be free, to give you the right to be able to have a choice, to give you the right to vote, and you don't do it. You I don't care. Well, go live in another country then and see how much you care. You'll be running back here. As bad as the water is here, it's still better than it is in Mexico. I promise you that. I'm Chip Matthews. I'll be back tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. Clay will be back tomorrow at 7. We'll see y'all later. Have a good day.